Today I'm talking about episode 16, which is Outlaws. This is the second flashback episode for Sawyer. Around this time, I always find it interesting how Hurley has not yet even gotten a flashback episode when you've had multiple characters now who've had two flashback episodes, but his time is coming. I almost wonder if they weren't sure exactly what they wanted to do with Hurley, because I know he's one of a few characters at this point who the role was specifically written for the actor. Like they saw Jorge Garcia, and I believe he auditioned for Sawyer, and then they wrote the character of Hurley specifically for him. Uh, but anyway, this is Outlaws, and honestly, this is a really good episode, and it's very similar to Walkabout, where the core of the episode is just like the really good flashbacks. Uh, the present day story isn't as significant or as important. Really, nothing special, honestly. The main thing is Sawyer has this vendetta against this boar. He believes the boar is out to get him, so he wants to go out and hunt it and kill it. But he knows nothing about tracking, so Kate decides to tag along because that's all she does is track and climb trees and follow when she's told not to. So, uh, so yeah, I mean, the main island stuff or the main present day stuff is really just you got some good humor there, some good Jack and not some good Sawyer and Kate bonding. Uh, and then there's of course the Locke moment where he has the speech about his sister who died, and his mother believed that the dog was like the reincarnation of his sister or whatever to comfort her. It's a nice moment. It is kind of a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. It's a trope that you see often in TV shows where a character will go on like some speech, tell some story that's completely irrelevant to what's going on, and all the other characters will look around and looking like, what is this senile guy talking about? He's losing his mind telling us some random story. And then towards the end, the story becomes very relevant to what's going on. I I see that a lot in TV. I don't like it. I don't mind it here, but I see it a lot in TV. Breaking Bad, I remember did it quite a few times if I remember right. I don't know why. It just always kind of annoys me when they do that. But yeah, again, like I said, the core of the episode is really the flashbacks. It's some really good flashbacks. Uh, you start off with, I believe, Harold Farrell's wife, who we see again in Numbers. Sawyer is hooking up with her. They're interrupted by Robert Patrick, which is kind of surprising to see Robert Patrick in there. You almost forget that he's in it. I mean, at this point, he's been in T2 and uh, two unfortunate seasons of X Files, which nothing against him for those seasons, but honestly, like you gotta have Mulder and Scully for X Files. So nothing against him and whatever her name was, but they're not Mulder and Scully. They don't work as well for X Files. I'm not going to talk about X Files too much here. But yeah, I mean Robert Patrick's got to be like one of the bigger stars they have on Lost. Besides, like you get Billy D. Williams, but again, that's just a random weird one-off episode just like this. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, Robert Patrick's is great, so I don't mind seeing him. But he's some old crime buddy of Sawyer. They had the Tampa job, which is just a noodle incident at this point in the show. But I kind of feel like at one point they were saying that they were going to reveal what happened in the Tampa job. Like that would be a flashback episode, but that just never came to fruition. Maybe they couldn't get Robert Patrick back for it, but I'm out of breath. But and then towards the end, you get like the crux of this story for the flashbacks is Sawyer goes to Australia to kill this man who he believes is the man responsible for the death of his parents, which unfortunately is not true. Unfortunately for both of them, especially unfortunately for the guy who dies. But this was Hibbs setting him up because the guy owed him money. But before this, you get the just a great scene with Sawyer talking to Christian. One of the best scenes in Lost. I mean, such a significant and like powerful and emotional moment. These two characters talking. It's really one of the first big. Well, it is the first big character connection moments in these flashbacks. Because I didn't mention this, I forgot to mention it, but a few episodes ago in Hearts and Minds, which was Boone's episode, you did get the first real like character connection in the flashbacks. Coincidentally enough, you had Sawyer popping up in the police station that Boone was in. But this is like this is the first real like big deal character connection, which you don't get a whole lot of them. It's mostly, you know, someone meeting someone, the 2 degrees of separation, someone meeting someone who knows someone else who's on the plane. You get Anna Lucia and Christian. Obviously, Kate and Sawyer both meet Cassidy in the past. We'll get to that later. But it's such a powerful, such an emotional scene. Honestly, and it really speaks to how significant of a supporting character Christian Shepherd is at this point. And I'll stand by that. He deserves his own. He deserved his own flashback episode to explore this character and explore how he got the way he is, because it would have provided a lot of like insight into Jack's character a little bit without even having Jack appear in the flashbacks. You can understanding the man who raised him would help understand him. So I'll stand by that. That's one of the few things I wish they had done differently in the show. Just trying to catch my breath a little bit here. I think of what else I want to talk about. You had some good Charlie stuff. He's trying to deal and cope with what went down with Ethan. He's got Sayid to help him for that. Again, a nice way to balance all these characters and what goes on. And in the end, Sawyer doesn't shoot the boar. I guess the implication there is that boar is in some way like the man he killed, Frank Duckett. Like that's him returning or whatever. Because we know that the Whispers, for the most part, are souls trapped on the island. But I mean, sometimes the Whispers are just whispers from the others trying to be sneaky. But so he doesn't shoot him, and then towards the end of all that, one of the very last things we get is another really powerful scene where Sawyer realizes that Jack's father was the man he met in Australia, Christian. He doesn't reveal that yet. I like that he doesn't reveal that yet, because revealing that needs to be for the benefit of Jack's character, not for the benefit of Sawyer's character. This reveal to Sawyer has already benefited his character. So it works better when you can focus it more on Jack's character. Up next, we have In Translation, which is like the ellipses in front, so it's supposed to be Lost in Translation. This is Jin's flashback episode, which I talk about how these episodes transition into each other. I don't even think Sun and Jin appear in this episode at all, so there's no real connection there besides just the raft storyline coming back up again. But yeah, this was a really strong episode, a really good episode. I'm really out of breath. This is crazy. But yeah, up next, again, we got In Translation, and I will see you guys then.